morning, everyone. Good morning, lovely listeners of GhanaTalks Radio. It's yet another beautiful Friday morning. Yay, it's the weekend. You are welcome to the news headline review right here on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. I am your host, Esinam Fiagbedu. And today, joining me on our news headline review is Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning, my knowledgeable panelists. Good morning. Miss Regina, how are you doing? Miss Debbie?
The grace is sufficient.
We bless God. I love your dress, your blouse. Yes. It's given, is it British, colonial people, they must style some.
Yes.
I'm waiting for a producer to give us name. To give you a name. Hope all is well, by the way. Yeah, we thank God. So this morning we are back here again in the studios to, give our people the stories and then the latest headlines making waves in the news. Yeah, so let's dive straight into it. Health Ministry. Nearly 100,000 trained health workers unemployed. The Ministry of Health has raised concerns about the growing number of unemployed health workers, attributing the situation in part to the unchecked expansion of private health training institutions. This comes after the Parliamentary Committee on Sanitation and Water Resources urged the Ministry of Finance to release funds for the immediate posting of over 2,000 environmental health officers graduates on posts since 2021 to help tackle the country's worsening sanitation crisis. In addition to the sanitation officers, other trained health professionals across various specialities have also remained on post since 2021. The ministry's spokesperson, Tony Goodman, said private institutions continue to admit large numbers of students without aligning their training with the actual staffing needs to the country's health sector. He stressed that while the ministry trains health professionals based on specific regional and national requirements, many private institutions do not follow the same demand-driven model. This, he said, has contributed to the current backlog of nearly 100,000 unemployed health workers, many of whom have been waiting for employment for up to 5 years. He added, "We cannot recruit everyone this year. That is going to be scandalous. We have nearly 100,000 individuals who are currently at home and have not been employed for 5 years. So, we cannot use a year to recruit all of them." In other words, he also said, you have various private training institutions that, because they have to run their institution and make a profit, to be able to pay teachers would admit a lot of numbers, churn them out, and tell the Ministry of Health to recruit them. So this is it. This is coming from the Health Ministry. Nearly 100,000 trained health workers are unemployed, and private institutions are still, receiving them for training, and yet they are not practicing on the field. What do you make of it? Is it that they should stop admitting them? Because they can't recruit everyone. And then 100,000 trained. They actually train, but they are home because there are no facilities for them to work in. What do you make of it?
It's very sad because having over 1,000 practice nurses in the house.
100,000.
100,000.
That's a lot.
Very, very. And then we still have hospitals that complain of them not having some health professional to easy access of health care. It's very sad. But you see, I want to emphasize on the part where he said private schools admit a lot of students and they don't really pass through the right, or they don't use the right procedures to train these nurses. Well, I won't actually say they don't use the right process to train these nurses, although I'm not there. But then you see, of late, private health institutions are more in this country. When you go on social media, you see a lot of private health institutions. And then when it has to do with the government sector, the nurses schools with the government, in the government sector, they have a requirement for you to meet. If you have F9 in maths, you won't be admitted. If you have F9 in English, you won't be admitted. So they will tell you to go and resit and write the maths again. If you get C6, they will consider you. I think C6 is the cutoff point.
Yeah.
But F9, no. E8, no. But with the private institution, some of them, F9, they'll pick you. And this is what they do. They pick you. I mean, they allow you to go through. But then whilst you are in school receiving training, you have to resit and be, trying hands on the maths. If you still don't pass it, you will go to the nursing school, all right. But then you will not graduate. That is with some health private health sectors. And then with some private health sectors, with F9, they don't care. What they know is that you come, they teach you the right steps. The things you are supposed to know to become a professional health, a professional nurse or a professional doctor. And then at the end of the day, they graduate you. And then that's it. And most of these schools, you go and then you don't even find out that they are accredited by the government. Most of the private schools, they are not accredited. I know of a female colleague of mine, her sister, who went for this online, health training, and then she went to the school. At the end of the day, she got to a point where she was supposed to graduate, and Omobeti said the school was not accredited. And Omugu school, no. So you see, you've wasted the lives of people. So most of these schools, one, they are not accredited. And so we have a lot of nurses in the system. And you see sometimes too, and you're more fault too. If someone finished school today, it's either teaching training or health sector. Because we've made the other sectors very difficult to enter. Law, you have to write an exam.
Yeah.
And even when you write an exam, there is a cutoff point for you to meet.
Yeah.
If you meet below the standard, you will not be admitted. You won't. There are sectors that are very difficult for you to enter. In Tinunipa Nonyaba, one corner is a teacher. Teaching training. And so if you look at our system in Ghana, nurses and the teachers, they are more.
But there are no facilities for them.
There are no facilities for them. They are more. Because I feel like in the IA system, Obi complete school, you they go around. Let's do a survey. Let's go to the senior high schools. Ask Form 3 students after school, what do you want to be? Obeka Chelsea nurse. The next person will also tell you that is the easiest training to get into. Like it's easy for you to get into such a training. Well, in a way, I'll say yes. In a way, I'll say no. We have people who wants to become a lawyer. We have people who wants to become a banker. We have people who wants to become, other professional like chartered accountant and stuff. But Ocho was in who the results now. So they dive their profession. Say for me or the instead of say mess up I'll venture into another profession. Say Bia, I want to become a lawyer, but results now manual. For me then there is no way I'll become a lawyer again. And for me to go back and go and sit and write up there, you know how painful it is. You see your colleague in school, that kind of pressure. You're going to write off there. So the pandemic send the medical nursing school, sir, and you be on for public health nursing or general nursing. They will pick you from there, and then you go and then from that and carbon send depend on do level no person bedroom. So I feel like yes, it's the most easiest.
But why have we sat down to make it so? Because seriously, let's take lawyer for instance. Before you even write your entrance exam to be a lawyer, like to get into the institution, like it's not on the floor.
No, it's not on the floor. It's not.
It's not on the floor. But it looks like once you are done with SHS and then like you didn't really do well, then they ask you, oh, nurse,
yeah. And that is why we have a lot of nurses who do not have the passion for their work.
Oh yes.
And I don't blame
them. You go to the hospital and they'll just be looking at you.
They worsen your situation because the Juma no any but one funny one could share baby, he or she cannot be a burden on the parents. It's either Marco nurse and a Marco teacher. And we have some teachers of the rack class Well, when you're trying, and you
failed.
But he just wants to. So we've made these two professions so common to attain in this country.
The teacher and the nursing.
And then the other sectors, it is in the circle of the rich people. I'm not saying that as a layman you can't get in there. You can get in there, but before you get in there, it has to take l'argent and the grace of God. Although you are knowledgeable, but we have people that answer now back to admission for entrance exam. No, we've already marked some people who, these key people, whether they pass or not, you admit your modida.
So would you admit that the system is corrupted?
Oh yes, it's corrupted.
Because even the right people that are supposed to even gain the admission, they are not getting it.
Oh yeah, it's corrupted.
Because here lies the first, if you have F9, D7, you will not write. Like you won't be admitted. You have to go back and. But here lies the case. Oh, Fefe Dede. You know Fefe Dede. D D E E F F. If you even have it, you can't even go to school.
Yeah.
Which I think is very bad.
Oh, it's very that one is very.
When
very
it happens
bad.
like that, the foundation is weak.
Yes. Very, very.
So
very,
I think
very.
our system needs to be checked.
Yeah, it has to. And that kind of circle we've created, and it's true.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
look at that circle, you will see the people that are there. One can say,
if you tell someone that, oh, what are you reading, and you tell the person, oh, I'm reading law. Hey, who's cool?
You see, it has to do with money. Law has to do with money.
It's about who you know right now.
Whom you know protocol.
Which is very bad.
Very, very.
Miss Regina, what do you make of it?
All right, so I would say that it's sad, and it also breaks my heart that these nurses are at home unemployed. You remember the last day we went for reporting. I said the profession that really baffles and disgusts me is I can't say nursing. Not in a bad way, but in a way that after going through all this stress of education, and at the end of the day you still come back to the house for how many years? No work, no placement, and you have to get another capital to start up another business. Other people go as far as enrolling in another institution just because they are not doing anything. And I have one in my family. Up
to now.
It's funny.
She has not been posted.
Midwife for that matter.
Oh,
this is not even
God.
a nurse. Midwife that we know that at least people give birth all
the time, like every day.
And their school fees are huge.
Every day. Now ask me what she's now a supervisor.
At where?
At a restaurant.
Jeez.
So just imagine this. It's really sad.
I think I know the person.
Of course, you know. And I wouldn't blame the government. I'll blame the private institutions, as Debbie said.
Yeah.
Now there are a lot of private institutions which we can mention names, but a lot of private institutions, all in the name of health workers, health students. White. So ataren na yo mufo. So then na yo muf. Ataren is nice. So
the dress is nice. It's nice.
So with the white,
yeah,
with their white shoe.
White shoe.
Nice. That's nice. So
you get
but
it.
sometimes ask yourself.
After that,
I can't remember. It got to a point where ex-president Akufo-Addo said that the government's payroll ayema. So if possible, you can invest your time in other businesses. He himself came out to say it.
Yeah, and I think a Queen Mother also came out to say that if you're a nurse, get a side job. She said that the system is
those who have who completed 2000, 2001, 2002, 2021, they are still at home.
Still in the house.
And Nibiamba 2025 will say Okoye nursing, Oko run nursing. We are not saying it's a bad profession. It is a good profession, but Ebiana because I call private hospitals. Even private hospitals saying Ghana how many number to my employee money now.
Yeah.
And they don't need over 100, 200 nurses in one hospital. They don't need it.
they don't.
So these private schools, especially the health sectors, I think it's up to the Minister of Health to see to this. Because with this private institutions, even if you fail, you still have access to the education. because for them though, specifically tell you that no certificate is needed if you just want to be a health professional. Just come in, they'll employ.
I've seen
adverts with F9. They'll employ. Hey,
I've seen adverts.
And it's funny, and it got to a point where the should I say I don't really know the sector that controls visas and all that. Is it Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Foreign Affairs.
It got to a point they increased the rate at which you can register passports. All in the name, say nurses are traveling out of the country to get jobs, to feed for themselves. And now, look at what we are facing as a country. Over how many workers? 100,000. I'll say, and I can boldly say, most of them are not even qualified.
Yes.
Most of them are not even competent. And just imagine they are not competent and they've stayed home for a very long period of time, and now they have the chance to be placed at
what
an
are they going to? Because they haven't been practicing.
Exactly.
So what are they going to do?
They'll kill people.
You see,
they'll kill us.
And the work is like now practice.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Along the way you are learning. It's just like how you learn how to drive and then you are just there. Obviously, theirs
is not a natural work. Our job is a natural work where it comes naturally. But yours, you went to school, you learned it. You need to practice it to be a master in it. But now,
the nurses, they are going through a lot.
A lot.
And it was recently I got to know that even when you are done with your national service, they'd pay you after the 1 year.
They pay you again?
No. You know the national service.
Yeah, after the national. Yeah.
So it means it was so called loan.
If you don't have the money, service, you just be there.
And then after 1 year, no, because the government in Betia 50-50.
So what can government do to these private institutions?
They need to close down most private institutions if they see that these people do not have the qualified credentials to operate a health school. They need to close it down one time. The way Minister for Information came and closed down almost half of radio stations
because they don't have license.
They need to supervise these people, and not anyone will just wake up one day and be like, I have the money to build a health institution, so let me build one as a school and then accommodate people in it. When these people come, you need to scrutinize them. If yes, they are qualified. But this time around, it's not so, because at the end of the day, I would socket you something small and you just accept it. So they need to close down a whole lot of schools, trust me.
And a private institution, the school fees they are paying is more than the public institution. Their school fees is way much more than the public institutions. So if you are enrolling in a university that is private, you have to make your background research. School completing and like they were employed in what institution were they employed into. You have to do your background research. So I 4 years, so sister, paying school fees, paying hostel fee.
4 years, almost 6 years, because after that 4 years you have to do another service.
Oh yes, you do another service.
Or it's part of the 4 years.
No, you have to do service, and then with the doctors it's 7 years. Now why we are 7 years?
So I think the government need to take some strategic measures to make sure that these private schools that do not have the right documents or the credentials to operate a private school should be closed down, as Miss Regina and suggested.
And I feel that some private schools are really helpful, especially with this international people, or with people who have the links internationally, especially when it comes to the private schools. You go there and at the end of the day, they prepare your documents and you travel out of the country to practice what you did. Yes.
All right. Moving on to our next story. Government is strengthening legal framework to curb child labor. 2 million children in Ghana are currently trapped in child labor, a figure experts warn could rise unless urgent measures are taken. Globally, the International Labour Organization estimates that 160 million children are involved in child labor, over 60 million girls and 70 million boys. Nearly half of these children are in dangerous work condition, with 70% living in sub-Sahara Africa. Locally, figures from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that 21.8% of children aged from 5 to 17 are in child labor, and about 4% are involved in dangerous work. Despite government efforts over the past 2 decades, the situation remains critical. The Minister for Labour, Employment and Jobs, Dr. Rashid, said the government is committed to resolving this matter. As Ghana prepares for the upcoming International Labour Organization conference next week, the government is reaffirming its commitment to end child labour once and for all. This is it. This is it. 2 million children in Ghana are currently engaged in child labour. 21.8% of children aged from 5 to 17 are in some form of child labour, and about 4% of these children are doing dangerous work, jobs that are dangerous to their health, safety and development. Despite past efforts, the problem is still serious and could get worse if not addressed urgently. How can we address the issue of child labor right here in this country? Because, hey,
you know when you said it's one thing just that came in mind was arrest parents. You know, it's sad.
Very
it's sad in the sense that I always say this. We have protection. You just go to pharmacy's protection. How much is it? It doesn't even exceed 30 cedis. If I'm not mistaken, protection doesn't exceed 30 cedis. So why don't, if
it's
you
even
know,
this one, no.
Is what?
It's even free.
So, you see?
Some are even free.
Family planning.
No, not even family.
Protection.
The rubber. Some are even free.
But we have family planning. You can.
And
do
I'm
for
not
6
even.
months.
Maybe you say you don't have money for family planning.
Oh,
Use the
you
rubber.
can buy the rubber.
Use the rubber.
Yeah, it's less expensive. Oh.
Even if you have money to buy the rubber, you see that ice cream rubber.
Hey, sister, what? No, I don't buy. I beg, don't advise that.
It's serious.
Like joke. It's
No,
very serious.
it's very serious.
Because you don't birth a child you can't take care of.
Exactly.
Don't bring a child into this world you can't take care of. It breaks my heart sometimes when you go to town and you see children, should I say littered around?
Oh, yes.
Scattered around.
You can use it.
Dirty. Looking malnourished.
Oh,
They
God.
don't even get food to eat. Koshioko na ya koshoko. I was said by now koshoko shouldn't be in existence. When you go to some part of our regions, koshoko is still in existence. In case you don't know koshoko, the one that your body will be slim,
Lack of
your
protein.
stomach will be shine, your head will be big, your hair will not be growing. Malnourished, that is koshoko. And parents, give birth to a child. You people will be the same people to should I say give toffee pure water, give it to this kid to go and sell on the streets. It's sad.
Very
So
sad.
I feel what they can do, the government can do their part, but the one thing they should also do is arrest these parents. And if maybe education, you can also educate these parents on what to do, how to prevent pregnancies.
You're telling somebody how to prevent pregnancy.
Yes.
So don't go and do
I
it.
feel that some parents are not that intellectual. Some parents are not that, should I say, smart when it comes to these things. They don't know how to
Or
prevent these
perhaps
things.
awareness hasn't been created.
Exactly.
Or much education is not
Exactly.
really on this.
So they need to either arrest the parents and give them enough education and create the awareness.
Because I think that will do.
Yeah. I think it's all, as you said, it's all boils down to the parents again, because there are people who actually give their children out because they feel like they've given birth to like 6, 7, and they are not able to cater for them. So if a family member say in Accra, and they know Accra to be, capital town of Ghana, I don't know how people perceive Accra in the villages. It's Obo Accra.
I say
they are shivering. They want to come and see Accra. But I always say that if you don't have anyone here, you don't come to Accra. Accra is not for the weak. I had that easy. You pay
easy.
for literally everything.
Everything.
Everything. But in the village, it's not like that. Tomatoes were you can even walk to someone's farm to cultivate whatever you want. And they live like, I mean, family.
Yeah.
Accra, Obia dia ni show net now Obi
oko. Yeah, be pal
so my then they will beat you mercilessly. So some of these parents, I can remember when I was back in school, I went for vacation, I was coming back, and there was this lady, she said she was going to Okotino Obiho or Kumasi. And instead of her to pick Kumasi car, Obejani Eba Accra. So we go to, I think, at Impoku, before she was saying, say, Oko Kumasi. And then we were like, and no one for Kumasi can Obejani. And it was it. She has to go and pay another fare.
Of course.
Kumasi no Okono Nimo. On Tichi. On Tibrofo.
Never tono.
On Tichi, on Tibrofo. So we go, unfortunately, we got someone who can speak her dialect. It's nipa na ebisan who call her, who call ye den, or say, or continue be her. Looking at the child, where she's supposed to be in school.
In school.
Or continue be her.
Exactly my point.
Nipa nema. Where cry ye can be a janim poye maundi. You're going
Go
to suffer
outwork this child.
And where you can't speak, but font mean common to you. By now, I don't know whether she's still there and she has find her way back to
but this
the
is
village.
actually a serious issue that I think we need to pay critical attention.
We don't pay attention to those things, especially people in the village. I mean, awareness is also necessary.
When now Kokan, they will be like, we are training the child in a hard way to be independent. At a younger age, you have to start working for yourself. But that shouldn't be the case.
You remember the last time we were sitting outside and one guy came to us and I was like, this guy is a child, but he has been forced to grow.
To grow.
Most people are kids, but because of the nature, because of what they go through at homes, because of how they are living, they've been forced to adapt to, should I say, adult behaviors. But you're a child and you need to experience how childhood is like. But so the last time I saw one young boy, or say true,
oh yeah, they do.
To the extent of they even give birth and then the child has to quit school and take good care of the younger sibling.
They do. And you see, peer influence also count. Mostly be people in the village. But and this happens because sometimes those kids are being forced into marriage at the age of 13, 15. I'm a bema because you feel like you don't have the money to cater for the child. That is why I hate it from almost like with them. I know of people, but I mean, with those particular clan. Say my wife. Wa register to the age of 12, 15 year the number our year. Inti abofan so mpesa. Then he or she runs to Accra. Obedru asa oni baby ako. So they end up finding themselves on the street and then engaging in prostitution. And they will engage in it at Christmas. Then they'll buy dresses, they'll buy things. Then they'll go. Where someone wa buy heaven. Then they also so you see them be brave. They're coming to Accra. Prostitution. Then you see them sleeping in front of kiosk. And when it's rainy, I feel pity for them.
Oh, it's very sad. Very, very, very sad. Because, like, they really need to pay attention to this. With that being said, the government is, trying to, is doing everything in their possible best to strengthen laws, improving the Labor Act and Children's Act to better protect these children. And especially to increase inspection, especially in sectors known for child labor, like agriculture and then mining. When you go to the villages and you see a child weeding but then you ask yourself,
they are very strong. Because from 5 years, so at the age of 10 years, as she said, you've grown by force. Just say.
So the government is also putting in place to punish offenders with strict penalties for those who exploit child labor.
Yes. Not only the parents.
Not only
but
the parents.
People who even accept these kids to even work for them.
Yeah. I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
That's a very good call.
That's kind of anti thing, mempe.
Some aunties are good.
I know some aunties
I enjoyed a very good auntie.
I know some aunties are good, but no, I just say be auntie no see the person is related to your mother or your father. Ebi abusuani mu relative be, but akoye sa abusuani the auntie. One auntie te akotena ne ho, kotena ne ho. Di eche one time kwa nkwohwe say
akwala ne ho ye ne didie mu na
and every time the child is on call, auntie ni gina ne ho.
Of course,
people are going to
any mama say like she's been maltreated, so
some children are going through a lot.
All right, let's go to our last news headline briefly. SLTF to disburse no fee stress funds in June. The Student Loan Trust Fund is set to commence the disbursement of funds to first-year tertiary students under the no-fee stress policy starting in June. The Chief Executive Officer of the Trust Fund, Dr. Sajida, I hope I got the name right, Dr. Sajida, urged first-year students to visit the fund's official portal to register and complete the necessary processes for fund disbursements. So because of time, I'm going to read that briefly. So the government has announced that starting in June, the Student Loan Trust Fund in Ghana will begin giving out financial support to first-year tertiary students under a new initiative called the No Fee Stress. So in June, they'll start giving them money. What do you make of it? Someone will ask that what is the No Fee Stress? So it's a financial support program created by the John Dramani Mahama administration to help first-year students pay their fees. So it is not a loan. Students do not need to pay back. The goal is to reduce the financial pressure on students and families when starting tertiary education. And those who are going to benefit out of this is the first-year students in universities or other tertiary institutions in Ghana. And what they need to do is they must register on the SLTF's official portal and complete the required step to receive the fund. But I will ask, if they are supporting just the first-year students, how would they continue? How would the first-year students continue?
How would you continue?
Yes.
If the government is not supporting you, how would you have continued the school? What you are saying,
It's like they are relying on the government. The government says, okay, first-year students, I'm going to give you money.
For one term pay.
So if they give them that money, how does the government expect them to continue?
Continue what?
Continue the school.
Because
you've given them money first.
Without the government.
So when the government didn't bring this initiative, how were you enduring? How were you schooling? That is what I want to get.
So the aim of the government is to help support the families who find it difficult.
Ghana for your party for their
Without one, dear. It's in the blood.
There was no initiative like this. Now there's one, and you're asking how would they continue? Continue what?
It's like,
I believe it's a good initiative.
Oh yeah. So let me put it this way. So it's like the free SHS. Government is taking care of fusion and everything, and now you expect the government to give you provisions attached.
You see, some people, when the free SHS even came, some people even thought no provision. You just go to the school
then go and sit
down. Pro Max.
Yeah. So what do you make of the policy?
Oh, so the policy is a great one. I feel it's a great one because most of the times people get enrolled in such institutions, and the first term becomes a whole lot of tax for them because most people do not have the funds to do that. So I feel that since the first term is free, that is the chance where you get for you to gather all the necessary money or all the necessary funds you need for the rest of the coming term. Because in as much as it's free for the first term, you don't expect the government to put
Continue.
all the government is already facing a whole lot, but for the government to even think of you and add you to his policy, you should know that you're important to the government. And also, they shouldn't misuse this opportunity.
Good.
They shouldn't misuse this opportunity. They should grab it with full force and full hands. And also, island some money would also be disbursed to some students. This shouldn't be a yardstick for them to go to clubs, to chill and all that. This is a time where you need to make good use of the money. Even if you don't want to venture into any business, you can put the money down for the next semester. But for those who are business minded like us, they will definitely find ways they can invest that money into. And at the end of the day, it will yield results for them. So this policy is a great one, and it's commendable.
Miss Debbie, briefly.
Yeah, so the policy is a good policy, but then I'll plead with the parents too. You know, after level 100, it means you are going to pay for the fees. So I was thinking that if immediately that was announced, you should be preparing for level 200, level 300, level 400. So since level 100 is free, when you get to level 200, you have to abedani like maso train and sembisa. So the fees that the child is supposed to use to enroll in the first level has been catered for. So you should prepare level 200, level 300, and level 400. I will be happy if it will cut across, but I'm not sure say better, because when the Western world, tertiary education is free. From level 100 to level 400 is free. You are on loan. So immediately you are done, and then you start to work. They take it out of your pay till you are done. I think when such thing is also implemented in this country, in
so once the government is helping you with the first year school fees, you know, getting into the university, the first year is like it's very hectic. If you are lucky enough, I'm just hoping that they don't politicize this whole thing and be like, since it's the NDC that brought it, they're only going to lawyer. So I think it's a very good initiative from the government. We are just hoping that they don't politicize it, and then they have a better way of sustaining it. And I must tell you that it's a good cause, and it's going to go a long way. So that is it for the news headline review. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Welcome to Friday editions of Debbie's Grill, where we talk on matters that concern the state, devoid of politics, fear, or favor. Now, yesterday, something very dramatic happened. You know, it's quite funny, but it's not funny. It's funny and it's not funny. It's not funny because it has to do with people that or figures that are respected in the country, and in a way, it's funny because although we see them to be leaders, they do not see themselves as such. Now, in a dramatic display of political protest, members of parliament from the minority caucus staged a sit-in outside the headquarters of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO, in Accra on Thursday, May 29th, to demand the release of Bernard Entry, known as Chairman Wuntumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party. The MPs marched from Parliament and took over portions of the streets directly in front of Iyoko's office in Accra Central, drawing significant public attention. The protest marked by chants and call for justice, and it's also brought definitely bring traffic. The minority members of parliament, led by minority leader Alexander Prenyo Markin, decried what they describe as political persecution and the weaponization of state institutions against political opponents. So the sit-in comes in response to Wuntumi's continued detention by Yoko after failing to meet the conditions of a 50 million bail granted on Wednesday, May 28th. So the Ashanti Regional Chairman for the New Patriotic Party, Chairman Wuntumi, was arrested due to an alleged involvement in illegal mining, causing financial loss to the state and defrauding. All this combined together. Now, he was first arrested and he was released. After he was released, Iyoko came for him again, and then with this he's supposed to pay 50 million, but he's saying he doesn't have that money. And so he, belonging to a group of people who sympathize with him, the Minority Caucus decided to stage a protest, unannounced protest, yesterday. And what went on yesterday was quite funny, but it wasn't funny. We saw a whole minority, a whole members of parliament. Don't pay attention to my facial expression though. A whole members of parliament sitting on the floor, crying out, wailing that the procedures in which Chairman Wontumi is being made to follow is very bad. It's a political persecution, and it shouldn't be so. Now, Chairman Wontumi, as I know, is a very strong man. That man cannot be intimidated. He cannot be intimidated. So I don't know why the minority are taking this issue so seriously. The person has been taken by Yoko, and I know it's because of something they found out. And I know since they've taken him, it means that, due investigations are ongoing. Definitely when they come for it, it means they found out something that they want to investigate deep into. So, Chairman Wontumi being at the forecourt of Iyoko, it doesn't mean that he is going to stay there for long, depending on the outcome of their investigation. So I don't understand why the minority are taking this issue so seriously, to the extent that a well-respected member of parliament sitting on bare floor like kids. They've forgotten their value. They've forgotten who they are. Because they've arrested someone that belongs to your group or your caucus, we understand. But to the extent of you degrading yourself to sit on bare floor, calling on Ghanaians to help you, calling on well-meaning, public officials to come to your aid. This was what the minority was supposed to do when they were in power. When they were in power and things was going on very wrong, I was expecting them to do things like this. But no, they felt like they were doing the right thing. And we all know Chairman Wontumi. Oh, very outspoken. He perceived himself, and that's how we see him, as the god of the country. Someone who sits, talks, fearlessly. He holds gold, normal gold, everywhere he goes, showing it off. And then he will tell you, this is real gold. This is real gold. And then he tells you your mind, and feels as if you, the rest of the people there, you are nothing. And then when it is time for him to go to due process, no, so what do you expect the government to do? Now I don't understand. Because if someone is suspected in a crime one way or the other, you expect the person to be at the house while the security are in their office doing their investigations. No. You will definitely be picked up for interrogation. So why then will you leave parliament? Go to the street. And that was shown on national television. A whole members of parliament sitting on the floor, crying out They should come and help. Oh, they should come and help. 50 million, he cannot pay. He has no properties worth 50 million. You have no money. He has no property worth 50 million. So they should come. I heard the information minister this morning calling on other politicians to help you for what exactly? What exactly do you want we the citizens to do? We were in this country. We saw what you people were doing. We saw how you were backing people who were doing things that we feel that was not right. You never demonstrated. You didn't even sit on the floor. I was thinking when they brought the e-levy and other stuff that was so nuisance to the country, I thought that was the period you people were supposed to demonstrate against your own person and tell him that, see, this is not going to help the people of Ghana. No. So what the minority is doing, are they trying to say that we shouldn't prosecute anyone? So when they find someone who is into, deep crime in the minority caucus, the person shouldn't be prosecuted. Where investigations no can find his name Babonti. We don't even know what the Iyoko, the whole entity are investigating on. And you've taken this matter so seriously. And this is actually drawing our mind towards something. Does it mean there is something you people are hiding from us? Or, in another way, what the person is being accused of doing is true, and so you want to cover the person up? These are the two things that keeps popping the minds of Ghanaians. Because to the extent, look at the CJ. Say want to medians will say And if we want to continue like this, then I'm not sure this current government can prosecute anybody. Because it was your government that was in power. And then you are no more in power again. So if there is a hitch somewhere, definitely they will come for your people. And this is what I want us to understand. Coming for them doesn't mean that they are going to be arrested. If only they are found guilty, then that's it. But when they are not found guilty, then it means they are free to go. But the person has been arrested and is going through investigation, and then you've taken it as a walk-up, sitting on the floor as if a KG1 student, and now KG1 students wouldn't even do that. And people all over the world are watching. Members of parliament sitting on the floor. You see the reason why I said democracy is not good for us? Seriously. I feel like we should do away with these members of parliament things and come up with something different. With Chairman Wontumi, till the findings are out, then we will know whether he's guilty or not. But with what the minority is doing, it's popping a lot of questions into our minds. It's either they calm down and think of, a different way to go about what they are doing. Because with what they did yesterday makes no sense. It has no value. Whether you sit on the floor. And I saw a video where some of them said they will demonstrate nakedly. We are waiting. If you demonstrate nakedly, we will take it. That's our work. We will do what we are supposed to do. Going on demonstration nakedly will not add any value to whether Chairman Wontumi, whether he's found guilty and he needs to be arrested. It won't add anything. Whether he's not guilty and he won't be arrested, it will still not add anything. Let's be careful. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that grill. Well, they said they'll what? They'll demonstrate naked. We are here to watch the nyash. All right. Miss Regina, what do you have for us in Today in History?
Right. So,
I'm only going to do my job and come back. Or am I lying?
Yeah. All right. Should I go?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so today in history, 1994, peace efforts amid ethnic conflicts. The Ghanaian government appointed the Permanent Peace Negotiation Team to address the ethnic conflict in the northern region. Notably, the Guinea-Fowl War involving the Konkumba, Nanumba, Dagomba, and Gonja communities. This initiative led to a peace agreement signed on June 9, 1994. 1967, Declaration of the Republic of Biafra, the eastern region of Nigeria, led by Chukwuemeka, declared itself as the Independent Republic of Biafra. This declaration came after a period of ethnic tensions, military coup, and a series of anti-Igbo pogroms in 1966. 1815, wreck of the Aniston. The British troop transport ship Aniston was wrecked near Cape, South Africa, resulting in the loss of 372 lives. Let's take a look at some observances on this day. International Day of the Potato. The UN General Assembly proclaimed May 30th as the day recognizing the potato's importance as a food source and its contributions to livelihoods. The first International Day of the Potato was celebrated in 2024. Today also serves as World Multiple Sclerosis Day. It is observed annually. It is a global initiative to raise awareness about MS and support individuals living with the conditions. Initiated by the MS International Federation and its global members, it serves as a platform for advocacy, education, and support. Today also serves as European Neighbours Day, celebrated on the last Friday of May. It's a pan-European initiative that aims to foster community, bonding, and neighborly relations. The day encourages people to get together, connect with their neighbors, and promote a sense of solidarity and unity. This day also serves as National Creativity Day. It is a day to celebrate creative individuals and encourage them to continue creating, from art and music to writing and innovation, as well as to inspire others to embrace their own creative potential. Lastly, today is National Water a Flower Day. National Water a Flower Day. It is a time to appreciate the beauty and importance of flowers and to ensure they are properly hydrated. And that's all for today. And today in history and observances of the day. No, did you know?
Why no, did you know? Me, I wanted to learn something new today.
There's a break. We're on a break.
Anyway, happy Potato Day. Happy Potato Day. You said today is National Potato Day.
Yeah.
So happy Potato Day.
Happy Potato Day.
Is National Watering Flower Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give observances.
Oh,
Yeah.
National Watering
So today
Flower
is
Day.
happy. I'm interested in the potato because it's food.
Of course.
Yes.
I know you.
So today I have to give
you
you
and
food.
food.
So today you have to give me
No, you
potato.
have to give me potato.
Why?
Is it potato or potato?
Potato.
And I am brophilizing.
It's potato.
Happy Potato Day.
Yeah,
Happy Creativity Day.
exactly.
We are
So we are also
celebrating-
creative.
Yeah, of course. I write. I'm a writer.
I draw.
Even if I don't. All right. This is where we draw the curtains for the news headline review. I'm so sorry. This is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Right after this, we'll be going for the news, and right after the news, we'll be coming up with the second segment. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Braille, our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding se tete abakwa sem. No on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Or you singer, and now you're a rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. No tune in, and say this is what you see. Baba live on Facebook, Cointakra, any GhanaTalks Radio page, and so now listen. I bet you fire. 1 year, Wading, Jajan.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up, President Mahama launches 54 kilometers outer ring road in Techiman. Nurses and teachers trainees to receive allowance from January. Legal practitioner calls for Wuntumi's prompt arraignment. Former Information Minister criticized Yoko over Wuntumi's arrest. These and many more coming up shortly. Do stay with us. President John Dramani Mahama has announced the commencement of construction on the 54 kilometers outer ring road in Techiman. This aims to alleviate traffic congestion and bustling commercial hub. The ring road will provide an efficient route for drivers connecting major highways. By enhancing the city's infrastructure, the project is expected to stimulate economic activity and development in Techiman.
Infrastructure is central to development, and the Bono East region will not be left behind. Under the Big Push agenda, Cabinet is finalizing approval for major infrastructure projects, many of which are earmarked for this region. And I want to say that under the Big Push, we are prioritizing roads because the state of our roads is in a very deplorable condition. So for the first year, the Minister of Finance has provided almost 15 billion cedis to be invested in improving our road network across the whole of the country. As I said, we are focusing particularly on roads that are critical for agriculture, trade, and access to essential services. In the Bono East region, the roads that we are targeting include the Asweye-Mesidan Road, the Ofuman to Wenchi Road, the Sunyani to Nkuranza Road, the Techiman-Wenchi Road, the Atebubu-Kajeji Road, and then also to complete the Kintampo to Prang Road, the Ejura to Atebubu Road, and Busunya to Atebubu Road. There are other roads that we'll also be working on that are not yet included on this list. These roads, when completed, will open up the region, improve market access, for farmers and reduce travel time and transport costs. As stated in the NDC 2024 manifesto, we're also committed to redesigning and constructing outer ring roads in major cities across the country. The outer ring roads will target cities like Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Takrade, Sunyani, and Techiman. For Techiman, which is a major transit point on the N10 highway, work has begun to open up the proposed 54-kilometer outer ring road. The Department of Urban Roads has initiated engineering surveys and design works to prepare the way for full construction to begin. This project will decongest the central business district of Techiman and enhance road safety for residents and travelers alike. The ring road would allow the big, heavily loaded trucks that are going to Burkina Faso and other northern destinations, instead of passing through the center of Techiman, they'll use the outer ring road and continue on their journey.
Moving on, President Mahama has announced that nurse and teacher trainees will receive their allowances starting from January. According to him, the finance minister is working to ensure timely payment. The move is aimed at channeling payment through the Controller and Accountant General's Department, may reduce delays.
And on the issue of Alawa, thank you. I knew this is the response Alawa is going to trigger. Let me assure you that the minister has made adequate provision in the budget for the payment of allowances. And the allowances will be paid from January. And so you'll get the arrears. When we pay the allowances, you'll receive the arrears. But what has delayed it? What has delayed it is that the minister is putting in a system so that you'll be paid through the Controller and Accountant General. So that every month when workers receive their salaries, trainees will also receive their allowances. So when that is done, you receive your allowances every month, and then we'll pay you the arrears from January.
Moving on, legal practitioner Martin Pebu has expressed concern about the detention of the New Patriotic Party Chairman Wontumi. He advocates for Chairman Wontumi's prompt arraignment in court, ensuring the legal process is followed. The legal practitioner acknowledges the 50 million bail bond, but not unprecedented.
So then, Yoko too should come out with the facts. When you don't come out with the facts, you allow citizens to speculate. You see, I'm looking at tomorrow. I don't want to get excited. You know, I mean, I personally, myself, Kena Shigbi, Kwame Sapoisi, do Edem Senano. We reported Chairman Wontumi to CID headquarters for Galamsey, etc. So I want to see him in court, but I'm not excited to see him for pre-trial detention. No, that's not. No, bail in court, some have been more than this. Some have been more.
So he won't be the first?
No. The only challenge is whether Iyoko has searched his state. I think that by in court, no. There are quite a number of cases where the bail some went beyond that, right?
In related news, former Minister of Information Kojo Ponkruma has expressed concerns that the law is being used as a tool for political gains. He believes the move is driven by politics than a genuine call of justice. This was after Chairman Wontumi was granted a 50 million bail by Yoko after being charged with causing financial loss to the state.
First of all, we all understand what is going on is not law, it's politics. And people need to get that at the back of their mind. The government is seeking to use the legal processes to achieve political ends. This is a man who is already cooperating with CID investigations. He's been granted bail. He comes and he goes. I think that was his third day. Then on his way home, you will now find another state organization come to arrest him. This is on the back of the earlier intended arrest in Kumasi. Come to arrest him in a Rambo-style swoop. The journalists who were there are reporting that he was even assaulted there. I'm sure you've seen some of those. And now you impose this kind of bail conditions, pecuniary, just so that he will struggle to meet it, and then you can keep him behind bars. This is politics. It's not law, it's politics. And that is why we have to draw the attention to it, that this is unacceptable. They are using the coercive power of the state in an attempt to intimidate political opponents. And that is what we need to draw the attention to, the fact that where our democracy is...
In business, the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association has expressed concern over the limited involvement of foreign developers in the association, describing it as a significant barrier to advancing its mission within the country's real estate sector. Speaking at the inauguration of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association Executive Council Standing Committees and Stakeholder Forum, the association's president, Dr. James Lindsay, highlighted ongoing effort to boost foreign developer participation, effort that so far has faced considerable challenges. If you look around, there are massive developments happening, very large-scale project, but the reality is most of these major developers, particularly foreign companies, are not members, he said. That is a problem. Despite our repeated efforts, they have either refused or shown no interest in joining the association. He further revealed that the association's investigation suggests a substantial amount of liquidity is leaving the local system, capital that could otherwise support domestic developers and drive national growth. It is a serious issue. Liquidity that could empower the association members to propel the country forward is being diverted, and that's deeply concerning, he added. Dr. Lindsay also addressed the issue of stagnant property prices. Despite the recent appreciation of the cedi against the US dollar, we continue to price properties in the cedi equivalent at the prevailing rate. However, prices of key inputs such as cement and iron rods have not declined accordingly. We noted that currently 100,000 property is valued at around 900,000, down from a peak of 1.6 million, yet developers have not adjusted their prices. In a related development, Irene Odokai, Director of Policy Planning, Budgeting, Monitoring and Evaluation of the Ministry of Works and Housing, announced that the ministry is reviewing the recent Control Act and its legislative instrument. The goal, she said, is to operationalize the Real Estate Agency Council Act, thereby creating a more favorable and transparent regulatory environment for the sector. Still in business news, the recent appreciation of the Ghana cedi may appear to be good news on the surface, but for the business community, it is not the strength of the currency that matters. It is the ability to plan. That's the message from John Awa, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Association of Banks, who is urging policymakers not to get carried away by the city's current momentum. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Awa cautioned that businesses are more interested in stability and predictability than dramatic swings, whether up or down. Let us not be excited about significant appreciation, he said. This is not exactly what the business community is looking for. The business community is looking at predictability, not that the currency has depreciated to 5 cedis to a US dollar, and tomorrow it is 10 cedis, another time it is 9 cedis. His warning comes as Ghana's currency sees its strongest performance in recent months, aided by improved external inflows, better fiscal management, and a reduction in speculative demand. He explained that for businesses to function properly, certain variables, especially the exchange rate, must be reasonably stable. You need to be able to plan effectively, he said. You need some variables to hold their own and not to be and not to be significantly beyond levels that you are not unable to predict, he added. Even in conversation with banks, this instability makes it difficult for clients to provide reliable financial projections, he added. To sports, Nations Football Club's branch manager Kennedy Boakye Ansah is adamant that his club will be just fine dealing with the absence of captain and key defender Razak Simpson. Simpson is set to miss Nations Ghana Premier League against Baseke Holy Stars at Enyinase in the Western region in the penultimate game of the 2024-2025 season. Nations game against Holy Stars takes place on Sunday, June 1st at 3 p.m. and marks the second game Simpson will miss due to his involvement in the Unity Cup with Ghana's Black Stars. Simpson played out the entire duration Ghana's 2-1-0 to Nigeria in the Unity Cup at the GTEC Community Stadium. Simpson scored an own goal in the loss that condemned Ghana to battle for third place against Trinidad and Tobago this weekend. But Boakye Ansah believes firmly that Nations will handle business against Holy Stars to maintain its title chase. Fortunately for us, we have a very solid squad, so in as much as we would have loved to see Razak in the game against Holy Stars, we have worthy replacements for him. We will miss his presence on the field, but in terms of the team, I am sure we have worthy replacements for Razak. Nations hold a 3-point lead over second-ranked Bibiani Gold Stars in the lead up to the game against Holy Stars. And that's all for now on the morning news broadcast. Don't forget to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news updates. Do have a good morning.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm Mr. Level Bam.
First of all, we all understand.
Listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brel, our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now, Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding se tete abako sem. No, on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say ade. No artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Konya, oh you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire now. Listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. No tune in, and say this is what you see. Baba live on Facebook, Kointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page, and so now listen. I bet you fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajai.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio. I wo UK abrochimemu era from Ghana mu ha at the sound system which spinning machine papa every amano ne aba begu oman Ghana mu ha. It is a we a year, we engagement, we wedding, we birthday party. Political parties are more rally. Some way sorry are more crusade. So we'll book carnival or any kind of event. Now we'll pay spinning machine papa a boa sound in the moon at the dia any may come for GTR sounds at the Emao. Your live band in so our tones at the frame ye beat me ababeboa. Ama ujumedia woody and so at me I come up. Yawa enkan pupuni mantemo anya aponchi hotel a hope pepe ena yebutu odi an se wo be frɛ mpanifo ɛwɔ 0546960510 GTR sounds emu de angaza.
It's the weekend edition of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show on Ghana Talks Radio, and you know how the vibe goes on the Friday edition. My voice. Friday. But yes, good morning to you wherever you are. My name is Pakwesi Omare, your regular host. And on Fridays, I get compliments on the show with some beautiful ladies. Nice braids, beautiful eyeglasses, pink and traditional wears. Yesterday, they were dancing in the studio. I have the video. I'll be posting it on. So, whoever you are listening, wherever you are listening to us from, my handle on TikTok is Pakwesi Omare. Today, I'll post it. I'll post them.
We'll sue you.
And that's why I have declared it on air. So it's not like I did it on the blind side.
No, but you have to access before you post it.
Once you have an idea of it, once you have an idea of it, it's no more privacy.
I'm telling you that you don't have to post it. Please.
We didn't hear it.
My people don't know that.
I can take a video of myself and excuse me to say my naked self and have it on my phone. But it's not up to you for you to release it or for you to post it.
Yeah.
But
my
I
fans
can still sue you.
I didn't post it from
my
your
fans
phone.
don't know that side of me, please.
Your fans?
Yes. They know I'm a very reserved and a very quiet, gentle lady. And then they'll go and see, their perception about me is going to change.
Reggie have moves. Oh yeah, no, mama will blow. Bang. I was watching it. Na there been so tia opeso to nyun but onim to na no nam chen.
You don't post it, we beg.
Na cham boni tinko cheso bomo bangers. Hey DJ Cham, you name so penny jesa. But yes, the Friday edition. It started yesterday, as I said earlier. The ladies started it today. The vibe continues from this morning till afternoon till the showbiz arena, where we have our entertaining guests also coming through. But for now, it's the discussions of politics and social issues. With me, Pakwesi Omare, my super hostess, Esinam and Regina. Debbie will be joining us right after her breakfast. That girl. No patutu tua. Abo for no crown sorry. Oh didi. Now bompa egu aduane so ahwan na ebeti also. Anyways, join us on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on X. Our WhatsApp line is 0202 544 614 0202 544 614. Our website www.ghanatalksradio.com. On YouTube, you can get us Ghana Talks Radio. Ladies.
Yeah.
Our guest will be joining us very soon. But before then, let's get into the Just by the Ways.
All right.
Yesterday, we had a brief conversation with our able guest, Mr. Dubik Stevens, on the issue regarding the Ashanti Regional Chairman for the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Boesiako, also known as Chairman Untumi. And he's been arrested or detained by Yoko. We spoke about whether he was going to be released or not, and according to information, he had a plea bargain which was assured and granted by Yoko, but the merits of the bill wasn't able, they couldn't meet it. They need 2 sureties to grant him bill and the 50 million Ghana cedis or something, right?
Only.
And we are here to get anyone to,
Lending money.
And here's the thing. So yesterday, the minority boycotted Parliament in solidarity with Chairman Untumi, walked or marched to the office of Yoko to seek his release. We are talking about the lawmakers of the land. Marched, as in they protested. We know by the constitution you need to send a notice, not less than 5 days, before you can embark on a protest in Ghana. These laws were made in Parliament. In 2023-2024, we had citizens who sent notice to the police 3 months ahead, kept reminding them till the last week of a protest. Yesterday, they were beaten and detained. Yesterday, we saw the lawmakers break the law, and the police has done nothing about it. Like, absolutely nothing about it. Are we really practicing democracy or rule of law in Ghana? Because if the law favors some people against others, it is no more a law. So what are we practicing in Ghana? And funny enough, nobody is even talking about it. Not the majority, not the CSOs, not the legal council. Nobody
is saying anything about it.
And secondly, the minority baffles me.
Your people.
Let's talk about something else.
The minority baffles me.
See, putting political colors aside, we have Wuntumi's lawyer admitting to a read from Yoko with why they've detained him, which is very legal, right? And you match there, looking at the evidence with which he's been detained, or for which he's been detained, the accusations allegedly against him. And you are telling us that you have Wuntumi's interest at heart than the interest of Ghanaians. A man who has taken a road contract worth $45 million and yet failed to execute the contract, but has received full payment of the money. A man who has destroyed an entire river body, an entire forest reserve, is being detained. A man who, in some allegations from the Attorney General's office, is being investigated for money laundering and causing a loss to the state, has been detained for investigations. And you are saying you are marching in solidarity with him, whilst your people has voted for you. People have voted for you in your constituency, so to be in parliament and speak on their behalf. You have boycotted that mission to fight for a man on trial for criminal charges against the state.
It shock you.
Sometimes that party does things beyond the wildest imagination of Boko Haram.
Boko Haram is too extreme.
See, some of the things they do, I don't think even Boko Haram will think of doing it. The River Pra, it serves 30% of Ghana's population.
Yeah.
The River Pra. And one man's activity has destroyed that water. Yesterday I was saying something. The laws and rules of war prohibits any country or any individual to attack a water body, even in wars, like war. Per mercy, you might decide not to attack a school building or a church building, but it doesn't go against the rules of the law. But once you attack a water body, it's against the rules of the law. So that should tell you the importance of water